Hey, good morning. I know this video is dark and grainy. I don't have any lights on. I have the TV on big screen TV with YouTube, and it's playing beautiful uh, instrumental worship music that I love to hear in the morning. It's quiet, doesn't have any words, just lifts my spirits, and I do that every morning, just about every morning. And this morning I was up at 3:30. It's a little later now, but still very dark. And I'm just in the Word, and I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for what God has done. Had an incredibly good event with Peter Daniels a few days ago, last Thursday. I guess it's a week ago now. And I've been pondering that. And I've been going back to, because we have a group coaching session. We do a live coaching group on Fridays. That's a paid membership. Very reasonable, and people are joining it, and it's great. It's a great thing. I've been doing it for, I guess, now almost 3 years. And I was praying about what am I going to be sharing with everybody tomorrow, and I'm in Ecclesiastes 9. It's so rich. A couple weeks ago, we went through Ecclesiastes 9:11, and it's about, not the whole chapter, just the passage about the race not being to the swift, nor battle to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to men of understanding, nor favor to men of skill, but time and chance happens to them all. And that's a very, 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 very powerful teaching. But I'm not here to talk about that today. I want to share one concept with you. A little further down in chapter 9 in Ecclesiastes, it talks about a sad story, really, about a city that was besieged by a mighty king, and a poor wise man delivered them. But once they were delivered, nobody remembers that guy. Who is he? And it goes on to say, in the passage, let me get the exact wording. It says, wisdom is better than strength. That's the whole point of the story. It's better than strength. You got a strong king, but wisdom is better. However, and it says this, nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised. The poor man's wisdom is despised, or considered worthless. And it says his words are ignored. Years ago, I wrote an article called Poor Men Have No Voice. People say, well, he's a good man. He's very wise. And he may be, or she may be. Doesn't matter. The reality is, you've heard the expression, money talks. And it does. And the way I look at it is this, that money is an amplifier for your voice. Somebody's got a lot of money, their voice is heard, people pay attention. It doesn't even matter what their message is in terms of whether or not people listen to it. They'll listen to it if you got a lot of money. Elon Musk, people want to hear what he's got to say. Or there are other people that are not so, let me get this back going. There are other people who are, let's just say, they're not good people, okay? But they have money, and people listen to them. People listen to people with money. That's just the reality. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. In fact, it seems to me the scripture is saying, it says this, it says, the words of the wise spoken quietly should be heard, rather than the shout of a ruler of fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroys much good. The thing I wanted just to communicate with you guys this morning is, think of this. It's the motivation for wealth accumulation. Wealth accumulation, money, unclogs the ears of the listener. People who are even antagonistic towards the gospel. Rich man, oh, they'll listen to him. I'm not saying it ought to be that way. I'm saying it just is that way. And so, you kind of go with the world that is kind of the thinking on that. That's what I do. I think, what's the reality that we're dealing with, and stick with that. And so I know that. So here's the thing. Why would you want to have wealth? Because it amplifies your voice. It turns your voice up, and you can reach more and more people. People are always talking about, I want to have a platform. Yeah, well, that's good. And really, money is a way to build the platform, increase the platform. When you have that platform, then the question becomes your message. And here's another thing. This is really, really important. I'll be talking about this on my Friday coaching group. But when you have a voice or you have a platform and you have a great message, if you do not also have great, or good at least, delivery, people aren't going to pay attention. I was watching television last night. I had it on Christian television, and there was a speaker on there, talking. And at first I thought it was almost like a comedic. Not that it was funny. It was a pastor, and it was the worst speaking I'd ever seen on television. As somebody who bought time and it's on TV, and I thought, is he serious? Who is this person? And my curiosity was aroused. I listened to him for a little bit. I thought, well, what he's saying is good, but his delivery is so off-putting that it just didn't work. When you look at Peter in the 2nd chapter of Acts, he gets up and he stands in front of thousands of hostile people, thousands of them, and he gave a talk. Read it again, Acts chapter 2. What did he say? How did he deliver it? What was the quality of the message, and what is the implied rhetoric in the scripture? Rhetoric, just so you know, I used to think rhetoric was a polite way of saying BS. Oh, that's just rhetoric. No, rhetoric is actually the emotional component of a delivery of a message. It's that Martin Luther King thing. I have a dream. Believe me, I'm talking quietly right now because I'm the only one up in the house. I don't want to wake anybody up. It's just me and Judy, and of course our Labradoodle Judah. He's around here someplace. He's right there. But I'm trying to keep it down right now. I'd love to be shouting from the rooftop as well. So I want to say this to you. When you're thinking about money and wealth accumulation, there's a purpose for it. And the biggest purpose is for the amplification of your voice. Or another way of saying it is for the amplification of message. Turning the volume up. Poverty mutes it, muffles it. It turns it down so people can't hear it. Money turns it up. So you want to have, that's the reason for the wealth accumulation, is to amplify the voice. And then, of course, what message, what voice, what will you be saying? That's when messaging becomes so important. That's another thing we talk about in the group, of course, is the messaging. Is, the different things, the communication secrets of Jesus, for example, are amazing. It's the message, the quality of the message, and obviously the content of the message is another way of putting it, but it's the delivery of the message in a way that sticks with people. So today, as you're thinking about things, I want you to remember what it says in Ecclesiastes 9, that nevertheless the poor man's wisdom is considered worthless, and his words are ignored. That's a good motivation for wealth accumulation, so that you can turn the volume up in your voice, have the platform, and then, of course, you gotta have the message. And you've got only not just the content, but the quality of the delivery of that. I'll close with this. Augustine of Hippo, I guess it was about the 5th or 6th century. he talked about these things, and he referred to understanding. Well, here in Proverbs, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, he talked about it as grammar, logic, and rhetoric. Grammar, or knowledge, was just the accumulation of facts, if you will. That, which is a whole other thing we'll talk about another time. And then wisdom, of course, was the usage, or the constructing in a way that brought value. And then and he called that logic, because logic is incredibly. Sir Isaac Watts wrote a great book in the 1600s about wisdom and logic, and that's a very powerful thing for you to maybe read sometime. But rhetoric is what Augustine referred to when he was talking about understanding, because it's the element of the heart and engaging the heart. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, or grammar, logic, and rhetoric. And it's your rhetorical skills. You say, well, I don't have them. I want to tell you something. Again, my friend Peter Daniels, he shared the story that, not only was he illiterate, but he didn't speak well. In fact, he spoke very poorly. He couldn't enunciate words very well and so forth. But he trained his mouth, and he trained himself to speak. And according to Norman Vincent Peale, Peter Daniels was the best platform speaker in the world. So you can train it. You can say, I don't really have those speaking things. What? Yeah, so doesn't matter. You can. Now I will say this: the quality of message, the quality of your message, can make up for shortcomings in the delivery of the message. But you kind of want both. I've seen people with great delivery, not much message, and the crowd goes wild. So delivery is important. Content's important. If you only have one, you want the content, you want the quality of the message. But if you get both, again, it turns the volume up. Oh, wait a minute. It's like, what it actually does is like this. The rhetoric, or the delivery of the message, is like you're looking through a lens, okay, at a message. But it's blurred. It's all blurry. It's there, but it's blurry. You can't make it out. Rhetoric turns the focus, and it brings it into sharpness and clarity, and it punctuates the various things that need to be emphasized, and as opposed to, let's say, monotone, which I'm doing right now because I'm trying to be quiet in the house, but because I really want to shout this from the housetops. So I'm rambling just a little bit with you guys because it's a little bit spontaneous, but I'm just in the Word, and I'm so enjoying it. It's not even 5 o'clock yet this morning. So I'll leave you with those thoughts. Okay, in summary, a poor man has no voice. Yeah, I'll put it that way. That, as the scripture says, a poor man's wisdom is considered worthless, and his words are ignored. You don't want to be that. Money amplifies your voice, amplifies your message. That's what money does. So money is an amplifier for your voice. So therefore, and by the way, you can use money to incrementally go up. In fact, that's another thing we're going to be talking about on the Friday session. I'd love to have you in there. Check it out, by the way. You can go to, I'll put a link in the video. But we coach, and I help people learn how to build a platform. What is necessary so that when you're on the platform to, get more, have more effect, more impact with that platform, and to continue to build and to build and to build. So anyways, my point really is just to share with you my heart this morning, what I'm reading in Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 9. It's a wealth if you'll take the time just to dive into it. So that's it for now, folks. Have a blessed day. And I just want to say a big shout out and thanks for a lot of new folks have jumped in to be part of the God's Wisdom, if you will, God's Business Secrets, which is a free group. And I'm just a special hello and welcome to the group, guys. And got a lot more to share with you in time. But in the meantime, have a blessed day.